We are reading chapter 40 and 41 today. We left off yesterday with Kyle asking Curtis for some help, and after he rattled off all the authors, Curtis had no idea what the connection was between them. So let's figure out what happens now. Really? Kyle was astonished. You've got nothing? Well, said Curtis, the only connection I can see is that Thomas Wolfe wrote Look Homeward, Angel, and Lewis Carroll wrote Through the Looking Glass. Both have titles with the word look in it, but two books are otherwise completely different, the two authors as well. Kyle and his whole team stood up in stunned silence, until Sierra started jumping up and down. Of course, she shouted. Your time is up, announced Dr. Zinchenko. Okay, Kyle said to the computer. Thanks, Curtis. This was really helpful? It was, said Sierra, daintily clapping her hands together like a very polite seal. The computer screen faded to black. What's up? Asked Miguel. I think I know how to crack the statue code. There's a code? Asked Akimi. Who knew? It'll take time, said Sierra. I need a computer. Okay, said Kyle, who was sort of shocked to see Sierra completely jazzed. We'll be in our meeting room putting together a list of Dewey Decimal numbers from the Bibliomania cards, so we're ready to hit the ground running when the doors open at 10 tomorrow morning. While Sierra settled in at a desktop computer pad, the rest of the team returned to the Bibliomania board game. We should start flipping over cards and putting together a list of call numbers, Kyle suggested. Sounds like a plan, said Akimi. She plucked a purple card out of the pile. Lose a turn was all that was printed on the other side. Try a different color, said Miguel. Akimi flipped over a blue card. Take an extra turn was printed on it, so Akimi flipped over all the other blue cards while Miguel flipped over all the purples. The purples all said lose a turn, and the blue ones all said take an extra turn. Kyle had been checking out the red and maroon piles. The reds say pick a yellow card, he reported, but the maroons say grab a green. The grays do the same thing, said Miguel, only they say pick a pink, and the tans say go grab an orange. So that leaves the colors we've already played. Kyle flipped over a yellow card. In the square root of 48,629.20271.209 ... What? Said Miguel, Akimi. Hang on, said Miguel. There's a calculator app on this desktop computer. Kyle read the rest of the card, finally to find half of 443.30. Well, that's 220.15 again, said Sierra, and the square root of 48,000 whatever is 220.5203, said Miguel, the King James Bible we already found. Akimi flipped through the rest of the yellow cards. Same with these. They all send us to the religion section to what we find, Ditto with the greens, reported Miguel. All clues leading to songbirds, warbles, and whistles. And all the pinks lead back to 027.4, said Kyle. I guess they really want to make sure that we found Get to Know Your Local Library. Which leaves us with the wild card, said Akimi. She examined the orange deck. Find a rhyme for cart and paperbacks, smart and zodiacs, tart and potato sacks. The art and artifacts room, said Miguel with a sigh. Where? Akimi continued. We need to find a rhyme for Randy, Sandy, and Brandy. The Willy Wonka candy, said Miguel. So, said Kyle. I'm guessing the Bibliomania game was only supposed to help us find 4 clues we've already found. But we need to know more numbers, said Miguel, because a little library should be a no place for nobodies. When Miguel made his pun, Kyle and Akimi both groaned. But when Kyle thought of something, this is why Mr. Lemoncello called our time out as a bonus. He knew we'd need tons of time to find a new source of numbers. Just then, Sierra burst into the meeting room. You guys, I found a whole bunch of new numbers. What? Said Kyle, Akimi, and Miguel. Where? Up on the ceiling. Chapter 41. You need to look up at the Wonder Dome, said Sierra. Huh? Said Kyle. Sierra and her whole team were standing together outside the door at the community room B. She hadn't been this happy or excited in a very long time. Sierra, said Akimi, what exactly are you suggesting we all give ourselves a crick in the neck by staring at the ceiling? Okay, this is a game some of us play online called What's the Connection? I put a list of authors and you have to figure out what they're linked by the titles of their book. Whoa, said Akimi, sort of sarcastically. Sounds like fun. It is, but believe me, it's not easy. What'd you figure out? Said Miguel. Well, like Curtis said, Thomas Wolfe wrote through Look Homeward, Angel, and Lewis Carroll wrote Through the Looking Glass. That got me thinking and running computer searches. Stephen Solden wrote a book called Look, I Made a Hat, and Maya Angelou wrote Even the Stars Look Lonesome, and Bosch wrote This Isn't What It Looks Like. They all have look in the title. What about the 5 other authors? Said Kimi. Did they write lookbooks too? No, they were up for a different word. Huh? Booker T. Washington wrote Up from Slavery, and Shel Silverstein wrote Falling Up. And Dr. Seuss? Said Kyle. Great day for Up. George Orwell did Coming Up for Air, and Todd Strasser had a book called If I Grow Up. So the 10 statues give us 2 words, said Miguel. Yep, look and up. So I did. I looked up, and at the Wonder Dome, there. Do you see it? That string of numbers drifting across the 200 screen under the Star of David? 220.5203, said Miguel. Akimi knuckle punched Kyle in the arm. This is just like that bonus code thingy you showed me on the school bus. Of course, said Kyle. This is a limoncello game. He always had secrets in screwy places. Way to go, Sierra. Thanks, said Sierra, realizing how much more fun it was to play this kind of game with real friends instead of virtual ones online. But we already found the 200th number playing Bibliomania, said Miguel. True, said Kyle. Check out the sections for number cards wouldn't give us. Everybody craned their necks to focus on the graphics, swimming across the 10 panels overhead. Here comes another one, said Sierra, in the 600s right underneath the floating stethoscope. Got it, said Kyle. 624.193. Woohoo, said Akimi. Sierra, you are my hero, said Kyle. You saved the day. Sierra blushed. Thanks. The spinner, said Akimi. Huh? Said Miguel. That was another clue. The Bibliomania game was pointing us to the ceiling too, because in the Dewey Decimal mode, the Wonder Dome looks like a giant 3D version of the board's spinner. Awesome, Sierra, said Miguel. Absolutely awesome. Sierra had her teammates stared up for the ceiling for an hour. At 12:30, they finally lay down on the floor so they wouldn't cramp their neck muscles. Because every 15 minutes, the animated ceiling looped through the call numbers for every Dewey Decimal room in the library, except one. And then the sequence repeated itself. How come there's no 300s number, said Miguel. Probably because that's the one book we really, really, really need, said Kyle. That limoncello, said Akimi. What a comedian. Let's see. All right, so let's do a bonus chapter today. We'll do 3 chapters. Chapter 42. Peering over the railing on the 3rd floor balcony at the close to 2 a.m., Andrew Peckelman saw Sierra Russell sitting all alone in the reading rotunda room. Andrew had spent all night on the 3rd floor losing video games to Charles, and being reminded about how much they needed to break into Community Meeting Room B to borrow any clues Kyle Keeley's team has gathered to pay Charles back for wasting so much of the team's time on the Anne of Green Gables clue due to his foolish fear of heights. Andrew had promised Charles that he'd do whatever it took. If anyone on Team Keeley was going to help us break into their headquarters, Charles had said, it will be the shy girl who is constantly reading. Have you noticed that what Sierra uses as a bookmark? No, Andrew answered honestly. Her library card, which of course doubles as a key card for the meeting room B. Find a way to borrow it. Isn't that illegal? Of course not. This is a liberty. People borrow books, a library. People borrow books, don't they? Well, yeah. Did I mention that I have 3,000 Facebook friends, 2,000 Twitter followers? Each and every one of them will want to hear what a weenie and a wimp you are if you don't do this thing you guarantee that our team wins. So Andrew made his way down to the 1st floor. Sierra, as usual, was reading a book. As he moved closer, Andrew saw a flash of white. Charles was right. Sierra was using her shiny white library card to mark her place in the book's pages. He made his way closer to the cluster of overstuffed reading chairs. Good book? His voice startled her. Oh, hello. Yeah. Mind if I join you? He slid into the crinkly leather seat opposite of Sierra. So, what are you reading? Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator by Roald Dahl. Oh, yeah, I've heard about that book. Where's the rest of your team? They went to bed, want to get up bright and early before the doors on the second floor open again. Yeah, Haley and Charles conked out too. Guess it's just us bookworms, huh? Well, it's kind of a late night, said Sierra. I'm gonna go upstairs and... May I take a look? At your book. I've never actually read it. I just tell people I have. Oh, sure. Sierra handed it to him. Thank you. Andrew flipped through the pages until he found the spot where Sierra had tucked her library card. Wouldn't it be cool if this library had a flying elevator like in Willy Wonka? Especially if you could use it to crash through the roof of Charlie and Wonka did. That would be a pretty cool way to escape the library, huh? Yeah, I guess. That was when Andrew made the switch. He slipped his library card into Sierra's book and palmed hers. Charles would have been so proud of him. So, he said, closing the book, did you ever read The Elevator Family? No, I don't think so. It's about this family who lives in an elevator in San Francisco, and let's just say that book has its ups and downs. Andrew hysterically laughed because it was one of his funniest jokes that he knew. Sierra sort of chuckled. He handed back her book. Overhead, the Wonder Dome dissolved out of its Dewey Decimal mode and with a swirl of colors became a bright green bedroom with a pair of red-framed windows looking out on the blue night sky with a full moon and a blanket of twinkling stars. In the great green room there was a telephone and a red balloon, and a picture of a cow jumping over the moon. The ceiling had become the bunny's bedroom of Goodnight Moon. A quiet old lady bunny in a frumpy blue dress hopped into the rotunda reading room. 2 tiny cats followed her. Great, said Andrew. Another stupid hologram. I think she's cute, said Sierra. Hush, said the bunny. Good night, clocks, and good night, socks. Good night, Sierra. Good night, bunny. Sierra took her book and headed upstairs. Good night, Andrew, said the bunny. Right. He pocketed the library card. He couldn't do anything with it right away, not while the holographic bunny's handlers were watching on spy cameras. But first thing in the morning, good night, old bunny, saying hush, he called out, and then under his breath he muttered, in the morning our competition is gonna crush. All right, and that'll conclude our reading for today. Join me tomorrow for our chapter 43 and 44.